Hi guys, so I wanted to do this video because I thought it was going to be informational for you guys. So as you can tell by the title, I was pregnant when I was in high school. So let me just go ahead and get to the beginning of how that all happened. Let's see. So when I was 16, I had met my daughter's dad by a mutual friend. And it happened all so quickly. We had fallen in love at 16. I know. You're like, you don't even know what love is. Anyways, I had fallen in love with him, and then he ended up proposing to me. We started to plan our wedding, and then come to find out, once we were in all that in, I got to turn my fan on. So once we started planning the wedding, his parents had decided to move to Arkansas, which was about 5 states away from me, and I was devastated. I was like, okay, I finally find someone who I'm giving my heart to, we're engaged, I want to move with him. And Mom's like, hell no, not gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen. So anyways, I basically told her that if she didn't sign a paper saying that I can move to Arkansas to go live with him and to basically give his parents guardianship of me, that I was going to do an emancipation in order for me to go, because I was still a minor. So she decided to go ahead and go do that. Did she like it? No, she cried. So I just want to get that out of the way. So I ended up moving over there, stayed over there, got enrolled in school, did, I think we would stay there for a couple months, I don't know. We went and did that, got enrolled in school, I got a job out there, and everything, and then one day everything just blew out of proportion. Everyone was calling me, telling me how much they missed me and they wanted me to go back, so of course I started getting homesick. The girl I had went out there with was like, yeah, I think we should just all go back. So then when I had told my daughter's dad that we're gonna go back to California, he was like, well, I'm going back with you, which I was just in love, because I was like, awesome, cool. I'm like, but now you gotta tell your mom and your dad. Well, they extremely flipped out. They're like, you're not taking my son, you're the devil. I mean, every name in the book they called me. I was like, well, we're going back. And they're like, well, you're not going back with my son. I was like, well, that's his choice, you know. If he doesn't want to go, he don't have to. If he can, you know, then he will. So we got kicked out that night. We went and got our checks from work early. We ended up packing up, going back. He's like, come get me at this spot, I'm going back with you. I was like, okay. So we had all piled up in the truck, started going back to California. At this point, I didn't even tell my mom that he was coming back with me. So I was kind of worried about that. Like, at the time, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, yeah, he's coming back with me. And then we get into about New Mexico, I want to say, and I called my mom, you know, because every state we went to, I had to call my mom, tell her where we were at, because she wanted to make sure, you know, the trip was going fine and the truck was going to run all right. So we did that, and then I had told her, I said, well, I have a surprise to tell you guys, you know, I'm bringing something back with me. I hope you guys approve. And she goes, oh, is it a puppy? Are you bringing back a puppy? And I'm like, oh, kind of, not really. So we travel on our way, and then we get stuck into Madeira. That's when it all came down. We ran out of gas. We're completely out of money. I think we only came back with like maybe $400. So that included all of our food, our gas, I mean, everything. You know, we didn't stay in a hotel. We ended up staying in the truck, because it was like a big pickup truck, so we could just sleep in the back. And I had to call my mom and my dad to come get us. And at this time, I'm like, crap, I didn't prepare for this. Like, we still had like another, it was like an hour and a half still to the house. And I was like preparing on what I was going to say when he got in the truck. And finally, my dad gets there, and he's like, okay, you know, let's go get your gas and everything. He goes, wait, why is he with you? And I'm not going to say his name. He goes, oh, I didn't know he was coming back with you. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, this is my surprise I brought back with me. And he goes, oh, well, that's cool, you know. I was like, you know, where's he going to stay? So I'm like, well, can he stay with us? And Mom's like, you know what, that's fine. My daughter's home. She's in love. Yeah, he can stay at the house. And I was like, okay. Well, when I get back home, not knowing that my sister already had her fiance living in the house, my cousin was living there with his girlfriend, which is now my cousin because they got married, which was my best friend. So they're living in the room. And then my brother was in the house. So now, when I moved to Arkansas, my cousins have taken over my room. So now we're like, crap, now we all have to be in the room. When we get back, like, what the heck's going on, you know? And I was like, well, we're all kind of got to bunk up. So now we have them in the room, us in the room, and everything. Then my sister ends up moving out not too long after that because it was just too crowded. No, back up. We are all there. A couple months down the road, I get pregnant. I haven't even gotten back enrolled in school yet because we're trying to get everything switched over. I get pregnant. I tell him I'm pregnant. We're super excited. And then it comes down to I have to tell my parents. So I knew my mom was going to be like, okay, whatever. But my dad was the biggest thing. So I tell my dad, okay, at this time I'm 17. I'm still in high school. I haven't even finished. I haven't even gotten into senior year. So I was still a junior. The hardest thing I think was telling my dad that, for one, I was not a virgin no more, and two, I was pregnant with a guy that he didn't even want living in his house. So I tell him, and they're like crying, and they're like, why? How did this happen? You know, we thought we talked to you better. I'm like, well, you really didn't talk to me at all. So they agreed to let him stay there. He ends up staying there, and everything, and everything works out. And then I'm like, I want to go back to school. So when we go down to the school and we try to get me back enrolled at the school, and they're like, no, she's too far behind on credits. She's like almost a year behind on credits because the credits in Arkansas was completely different from California. So now I'm like, crap, I want to go back to school. Well, my daughter's dad had told me, no, I don't want you to go back to that school because they're just going to bully you. They're going to talk crap about you. They're going to call you a hoe, you know, all this stuff. And I was like, well, they're going to say anyways. Well, when I had left the school and went into independent study, it was already going around. They're like, well, the only reason why she's on independent study is because she's pregnant. She's pregnant. And this is like way before. And that's kind of why I wanted to leave too to Arkansas, was because I was just tired of all the drama. So, we end up finding out that I can't go back to regular high school. I have to go to a continuation school. And then they're like, if you want to be able to graduate on time, you have to do adult ed as well, which is night classes. And I was like, okay. So I was doing independent study. I was doing regular high school classes along with my adult ed classes. So I was like kicking butt. Like, I had to do, what was it? I had to do like a year and a half or almost 2 years in 1 year in order to graduate with my graduating year, which was 2005. So I'm like, yeah, I want to graduate. This is like my goal. I'm pregnant now. I have to do what I need to do to prove to her, like, it's not about me anymore, it's about her. And before I had gotten pregnant, I was out partying, I was out having fun. I didn't care. Like, there's no care in the world anymore. I was like, I don't even care. Like, who cares what happens to me? As soon as I found out I was pregnant, like, everything had changed. Like, it kicked in fast. I was like, okay, I need to get a job. I only held two jobs in my whole life before I had gotten pregnant. And it was like for like, the one in Arkansas was like a month, and then the one here before I left was like a week. So I was like, okay, I have to go get a job, you know, before I start showing, because no one's going to want to hire me, being pregnant and all this stuff. So I get a job working at Jack in the Box. Worked the entire time. I swear that was probably like my longest job. Worked the entire time I was pregnant. So by this time, me and her dad are kind of split up. He moved out with his friend. He decided he wanted to still party. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't want you here then. Be like that. We still talked and everything. We still hung out. So I'm enrolled in my night classes and everything. And I do everything that I was told to do. So I did graduate with my class of 2005. I graduated with a big old belly. I'll show a picture right here. Graduate on time. I was super excited, did that. And then a month later, I go in to deliver, and her dad was there, and he was there to cut the umbilical cord and everything. He stayed there with me the first couple nights, and then when we come home, he was involved, but then he still kind of just shy away from it all. So I basically was doing it on my own. I was having to work and everything. Once she turned about 3 weeks old, I ended up getting me another job. I had moved out with my cousin that was living with me in the house. I actually ended up moving out to their place because I didn't want to be at home anymore, and it was just not working out. So I got me a second job when she was only 3 weeks old. Worked that for about another year. So I was working both jobs and trying to take care of a newborn by myself. It was really, really difficult. When she was about 6 months old, I want to say 6 months or 8 months old, I moved back home for a little bit. And she ended up getting put into the hospital. She had problems with her lungs and everything. She was kept to the hospital for about a week. And then come to find out she had really bad asthma. We actually went into a regular doctor appointment, and that's when they did her stats for her oxygen level and told me that she was only getting like 70% of oxygen. So I had to rush her to the hospital. She stayed there. Once we got out, I had told my dad the things that couldn't be done in the house. Like, they were smokers, so they would smoke in the back of the house, but it would, still travel through the house. So I was basically in my room the entire time, and that's why I moved out, because I didn't want my child to be around smoke. So when he had told me, no, he's not going to do that, this is his house, his rules, if I didn't like it, I can move. That day, I had turned 18. So it was on my 18th birthday, he had told me to basically move out. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to move. I packed my stuff, and I was like, well, where are you going? I said, I don't know. I said, but I'm not going to stay here. I can't have my daughter around this. She was just out of the hospital. She's sick. Like, I'm not going to put her back into the hospital. And it makes me a little teary-eyed because I remember this so, like it was yesterday. My mom and dad's never gotten along. And she's been wanting to leave my dad for a long time to get divorced and everything. And I was like, I looked over at her and I was like, do you want to go with me? And she goes, where are you going to go? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll find somewhere. Like, I'll go in a hotel for now, but I'm not going to stay here. I said, if you want to leave, this is your way out. Like, let's go get a place. So she goes, okay. She goes, I'll get my things and I'll leave. So I was talking to my friend, come to find out her mom was management of a place and someone had just moved, and she goes, if you want it, you can move in right now. Perfect. Next day, call my mom, you have a place? And she goes, are you kidding me? I was like, no, we have a place. It's like, let's go, we're moving in. So I moved in over there, and ever since then, I have never gone back home. I haven't really been able to go back home. But yeah, so that was my getaway. Like, I got out, I got my own place, I was working 2 jobs. At that time, I had quit Jack in the Box. I was only doing Rite Aid in the evenings, and then I had picked up another merchandising job, which paid way more. So I was basically paying everything. My mom was working part-time. I think it was part-time or full-time. I don't know. So she was doing her part. And then from there, I had moved out again with a friend. And this one was just our place. She was super little. She was over a year old at this time. And yeah, we got our place finally. And we lived there for almost a year. And then that's when I had met Michaela's dad. And yeah, I know you want to talk about that. But yeah, so that was my story about being pregnant in high school. It was hard. I really had to work my butt off to get to where I wanted to be, to get that diploma, and I was so mind-driven to do that. I was told because I was 16 or 17 when I was pregnant in high school, everyone's like, oh, you should abort it or you should get it for adoption. And I was like, no, like, this is my baby. God granted me with this baby. You know, me and the dad are together. We're getting married. Like, it's perfect. Till this day, I still say that she has changed my life for the better. Like, if I never had her, I have no idea where I would be at today. Like, if it wasn't for me having her, I would probably end up in jail or drunk or probably even overdosed or something, because I was going down that wrong road. I was hanging out with the wrong people at the wrong time, and I had no care in the world. I didn't feel like I was loved anymore. I didn't feel like I was wanted. So I didn't care. I lived my life like it was the last day. And that's a huge reason why I did want to have a baby, because I wanted to feel that love that I wasn't getting from home. Like, my mom worked nights, so she would drop me off in the morning for school, and then I wouldn't see her until the next morning to drop me off again. So I seen her for maybe like 10-15 minutes in the morning, and that was it. My dad, he was an alcoholic, so I really never seen him. He was always out in the garage doing things. So yeah. And that's kind of where my life is that I want to feel loved. I want to love somebody and have somebody love me unconditionally back. And that's why I had my kids, because I knew I'm always going to be their mom, and they're always going to come for me when they need something. I mean, my daughter is turning 12. Oh my God. My daughter is turning 12 in a couple days, and I just look at her, and she's this beautiful, beautiful girl that I raised on my own. And she's just this beautiful girl that I raised on my own, and she has a heart of gold, and she's so smart. All my kids, they're just so smart. And they know what love is. They know what love is because I taught them love. And I give them love because, like I said, I never felt it when I was little. Even though I had two parents in the same home growing up, I felt that I was in a broken home. And I think if my parents divorced when I was younger, I think my life would be different today in a better sense. I don't think I probably would have gotten pregnant so young. I probably wouldn't have partied like I did. I probably wouldn't even have all my kids today. So, in a sense, I kind of wish I did have a different childhood, but then in a way, I'm thankful I didn't, because being around everything that I was growing up, it is who I am today. And I'm a mother of 4. And I'm a strong mother of 4. And I didn't do drugs. I didn't become an alcoholic because I seen it from my dad. I've seen all that. And I didn't want to become that. I wanted to become better. Today, with my kids, yeah, of course I still struggle. Being basically a single parent, you know, with none of their fathers around. Well, the little one's dad is. But basically being able to have to raise them on my own, it's made me a strong person. I wish I was still taught not to rely on someone to do on my own. So I'm working so hard to own my own business, and I think I've been doing a pretty good job at that. I do photography. I have a health business that I'm running, and I'm doing YouTube now. So, of course, YouTube is not going to be my only income because, hello, I'm a small YouTuber. But I do YouTube because I want this to be able to be something that my kids look back on and be like, wow, we had a lot of great memories. And me growing up, I don't have a lot of great memories. It's mainly just blank. Like, I can't really draw back a lot of good memories we have. There are a few, but that's about it. So me doing YouTube for my kids, I want them to be able to see the fun things that we did. When I'm long gone, they can look back and be like, look, that was Mom, that was her laugh, this is how she felt, this is who she is. They're always going to have that treasure. So anyways, back to being pregnant in high school. It was super difficult. I don't want this to be like, oh, you should totally get pregnant in high school. It's so easy. Look what no, it's not. It's hard. It's very hard, and kids should not be having kids. And wait until you're out of high school. Wait till you have a degree. Wait till you have your good job. I mean, even if it's with a degree or not, wait until you are successful and you have your shit together, basically, before you have kids. Because it's so much harder to get to that point when you have children. And especially when you don't have a support system to help you get to that point. It's a huge, huge setback and a drawback. I've always wanted to be a professional photographer. People tell me I'm crappy. Okay, well, that's fine. The people that I do take photos of, they love them. I feel like people that aren't happy in their life don't want me to be happy, and that makes me want to be that much more happier in life and to succeed that much better. So, with that said, don't get pregnant in high school. Just don't do it. I'm 30 years old now, and I'm still struggling. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed my story. I'm sorry I got a little teary-eyed on that. My kids, if you guys go back and watch my other vlogs, you'll see that I have 4 kids. Mariah is going to be 12 next week. Jaden will be 5 next week. Oh my gosh. Michaela will be 9 next year, and Oslin will be 3 in a few more weeks in September. So, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you guys subscribe and like this video if you guys enjoyed it. Comment, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, turn your notifications on so you guys can get the new updates. Alright, thanks for watching. Love you guys.